No, just kidding. How to play the guitar. So lesson number one, we are not actually going to be playing the guitar in this lesson. If you don't get past this lesson, you cannot bother with the other ones. Or you can just stop right now if you don't like the sound of where this is going. Picks. This is the pick I play with. Or the beginning of the pick I used to play with. It's a Dunlop Tordex. It's got a special coating on it so it doesn't slip out of your hand. They're 88 millimeters. It's got a little bit of give to it. I eventually ended up switching over to the shorter one, smaller one. These are a little bit hard to find. But you can take the big one or the smaller one and make it into what I actually play with, which is a jazz size. But a little bit better for strumming just because it has a little bit more give to it. Those jazz picks are really big. Something people have pointed out to me, I didn't even realize, is that most people strum like this with the pick. I actually hold it inverted like this. Well, I'm not sure if I invented that style. I don't pay enough attention to other guitar players to know that if anyone else picks like that. If you're an equipment person, I'll let you know I'm playing with my my Heritage 575 Custom here, and I'm going through a Fender Champ reissue, and I do have an outfit on that looks like I'm about to play some ping pong, because that's what I'm about to do. Probably be better for the viewers if I had some pants on, considering it's the end of winter. And yeah, so I won't bother putting my leg up here, but you should, if you're sitting down, you should have one of these. Proline makes one for 20 bucks. I'm going to go ahead and not use one, just to kind of keep my legs out of the frame as much as possible here. How to hold the guitar. If you're just starting off, go ahead and learn how to use it properly. You know, this is how you do it. This is in the way, so obviously this isn't really made too much to play like this. This is how you see classical people play the guitar. It's how you play banjo. That's how I play banjo. I learned the wrong way, so I'm kind of stuck with it. So I play over here. I mean, everybody plays the wrong way. So like I said, it's even designed to play the wrong way with this stupid cable on the back here and this nice spot right here. So if you're sitting down, you'll notice that once you stand up, it kind of goes into that position naturally on its own there. Definitely want you to notice the difference between playing the guitar down here, playing some air guitar, versus up here. This is ergonomically correct. You want to play the guitar down here because you think it looks cool, just go ahead and be a singer, and you can look cool and sing like shit that way. I prefer to sing like shit and be able to play the guitar properly. So I would just say, if you can't not play the guitar down here, my recommendation would be to not start playing the guitar. Just give up while you're behind. How to hold the guitar in your hand. Not this, this. Thumb squarely on the back of it. You'll see me get up here a little bit from time to time, but might as well learn the right way. Elbow is not here. It's not like this, where you move your hand around like this. Nah, that's not correct. You want to move your arm properly. Move it. Fingers don't go like this. They go like this. And then you'll notice if you put your thumb squarely on the back, you'll have a nice space here, and you'll be able to press it down a lot better. I mean, you'll see guitar players, you know, with their thumb up here, playing like this. You know, learn the right way. Once you learn the rules, you can break them. You know, you can start playing bass notes with your thumb up here eventually. A la, you know, Jimi Hendrix or Pat Metheny or whoever else does that. As far as what kind of guitar, if you're going electric and you're starting off, definitely would recommend a Squier Well, before I'd recommend a Squire, I'd actually recommend a Epiphone SG or Les Paul style. Not one of those fancy Epiphone Les Pauls that's like $400. I'm talking about the $250 one. So $250 at Guitar Center or Musician's Friend if you are far away from. It's the same company, catalog versus storefront, and $250 you can get an Epiphone Les Paul or an Epiphone SG. If you want some more of that twang, country, you want to sound like Jimi Hendrix in your own mind, or Stevie Ray Vaughan, you can get a Squire Stratocaster, not a Mexican standard, which is $500, but again, a $250 Squire. I think they're even down to $150 in some places, and or a Telecaster. Big difference between those two guitars is, other than the scale being a little bit different in the neck, which if you're a beginner you're not going to notice that much, but the main thing is these pickups. This is called a humbucking pickup. There's two of them that are wound in opposite ways to cancel out that sound that you'll get in a Squire. So, unless you're really wanting to sound like country, like I said, I would just recommend getting an SG Epiphone for $200–250, or Les Paul style. That way you won't have hum on your guitar. Good way to start off. Plus they're a lot more versatile. They can sound like anything. You can make them sound twangy, whereas you can't really make a Stratocaster sound like a Les Paul. One thing I'm going to say is, as far as acoustics go, recommend cheap Alvarez's, cheap Yamahas. Get the ones that don't have any kind of finish on them. They sound better and they're cheaper. And yeah. As far as intonating the guitar, on an acoustic, try and find one that has the proper intonation. I'd recommend buying a tuner or getting a pitch pipe when you're first getting a guitar. And if it sounds, tune this string to a low E, and make sure it sounds the same up here. So if you have an acoustic guitar that you're buying, make sure that it's very close in tune up here as it is down here. Otherwise, don't buy it. Because it's nigh impossible. Well, for a beginner, it's very hard to adjust the intonation, meaning it's in tune all the way up and down the net on an acoustic guitar. I would leave that up to a professional. I've ruined a couple guitars myself thinking that I was a professional. On an electric guitar, it's actually really easy. Down here, you can move this thing up and down. On Fenders, most guitars, you can actually, each individual one you can move up and down. And you'll notice which direction, makes it sharper or flatter. Just make sure you start off here, this note in tune, E, and then get it in tune up here. When you do get a cheap guitar, just go ahead and buy a new set of strings. You can ask somebody at the store what a decent set of strings is. On an electric guitar, might be Ernie Ball, Super Slinkies, some 9s or 11s, meaning the size of this highest E string here. Usually if you're starting off, 9s are pretty good. Medium gauge on an acoustic, whatever that is, I think it's 12 for the high string, if I remember. Make sure you wind it up here about 4 or 5 times, meaning you got some slack here. Put the end in there, and then wrap it around, and then as you're tuning it up, helps if you get one of those little tuner gauges. Have it go around this thing 3 or 4 times before it finally tightens up. And then when you do your final tuning, always tune from low to high. Okay? That's how these machine heads are designed to work, not high to low. When you get new strings, I'm not going to do this because these things are in tune, but take them and pull them like this. Do that about 3 or 4 times. That's what it's a little trick from violin players I learned. And that takes some of that looseness out of there, and then just kind of tune it back up. And then the next day, do the same thing, and then tune it back up. So you probably have to tune it 3 or 4 times before it's finally there. Once you actually get the guitar to stay in tune, that's a good time to go ahead and set your intonation. One other little trick you can do is get a graphite pencil, if people know what that is anymore. Shave off some graphite into a powder with a razor blade or a really sharp knife, and then put that on the nut here under your strings, and it gives it a nice lubricant. That's my starting off tips for you. Lesson number 1. Now if I haven't frustrated you too much, feel free to move on to lesson number 2, where we actually learn how to play the guitar. And we might have more fun with Shih Tzus too.